Hi, Miranda.
Welcome everyone. We're live on Facebook and we're just going to play some music while we wait the next 5 minutes for everybody else to get here.
Love and gratitude, golden flower in bloom, bring us peace tonight, flow from me to you. Words of purest light, crystals in your gaze, to remind our hearts we open in your name. And when we start to fall, and when we lose the call, there's nothing more to do than call on you. Love and gratitude.
Good evening, Miranda.
And when we start to fall, and when we lose the call, there's nothing more to do than call on you. Love and gratitude. When we forget to see, our soul's deep mystery. There's nothing more to do than call on love and gratitude. Love and gratitude. Love and gratitude, golden flower in bloom, bring us peace tonight. Love from me to you. Words of purest light.
It's 6 o'clock.
In your gaze. To remind our hearts we open in your name.
Hello, friends. David here. Great to see so many people that are joining us and so many on Facebook. Last week we had a lot of people on Facebook. We had 13,000 people. So most of you will likely be on Facebook experiencing this class, but I'm happy to have people who are joining us in the Zoom mode so we have time to interact with you. So happy to see you and so happy to be on this journey with all of you. Class 6 in this personal and planetary frequency raising adventure. So let me build some context and then jump in. So I see this as a planetary chrysalis, this class, a planetary chrysalis where you get to become your best self and help humanity do the same by raising your personal frequency and collectively raising our planetary frequency. This is also a place where you get to nourish and grow your spiritual agency, your spiritual mission, and your spiritual leadership, where you learn how to help humanity emerge, including yourself, from this planetary goo. The chrysalis is a gooey substance, and we are in a gooey state, as if you will, into beautiful butterflies we are capable of becoming. And the way we do this is by fully embodying and radiating each of the 7 qualities I have been teaching in this class: love, service, prayer, faith, gratitude, blessing, and we have one more to go. on community, our last class. This class is divided into 5 sections. An opening personal frequency raising meditation on one of these qualities. In this case, it will be gratitude. An opportunity to get reflection on your meditation experience. A daily practice to apply the insights received in your meditation and maintain a high personal frequency, which also, as we've talked about, is one of the best antidotes for, or one of the best preemptive interventions for not contracting this COVID-19 flu, because your immune system is so well built out through this frequency raising process. It's also an opportunity to contribute to creating the world anew through our Reinventing the Planet plan and a closing planetary frequency raising meditation on one of the qualities, which in this case would be gratitude. So here's what Archangel Michael, keeper of the faith in humanity, I think of him as a patron of this class, of my work on Reinventing the Planet and our Peace on Earth game. Here's what he has to say about gratitude. When you feel gratitude, when you feel grateful for who you are and for your blessings, there is a contagious joy which is far more viral than any disease that you have ever witnessed upon this planet. When you feel grateful for who you are and for your blessings, there is a contagious joy which is far more viral than any disease that you have ever witnessed upon the planet. How can you live on this magnificent planet called Gaia and not be in joy and gratitude every day? And then there's Dr. Emoto, who did research into the mysteries of water and discovered when water was held in gratitude, when the person viewing this crystal of water had gratitude for the water, the frozen water crystals were beautifully shaped, but when they were told, when the water crystals were told negative things, they formed very misshapen crystals. I'm going to share with you some images of 3 water crystals just so you can see the power of the intention, the thought, the feeling called gratitude. So let me share my screen with you so I can share those with you. So if you look at the very top, this is what a water crystal, where someone, it's made into a beautiful mural as well, so it doesn't always have that background, just the crystal itself. This is what the shape of a water crystal held with gratitude looks like. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's symmetrical, it's harmonious. This is what a water crystal, which you invoke, you tried hard looks like, which is restricted. It's still well formed because it's an encouraging thought, but not nearly as beautiful. And here's what a water crystal looks like when you say you are hopeless. And this is what it looks like. And I didn't even bother to share one where you evoke even more sentiments than that, like hate. So our thoughts literally create our experiences in our physical reality because we're 70% water. And when we have the thoughts of gratitude, a high frequency thought and feeling, you can see why your immune system is heightened, not to mention your well-being at large. So that's gratitude for us. What I want to do now is just to take us a little deeper into this process and begin to do a meditation on gratitude. And the bottom line, though, before we do that, is just to continue to appreciate, as we've been doing in this class, that every thought we think, every emotion that we feel, every word that we speak, and every action we pursue, if it is operating at one of these qualities or others of like, then you will have high frequency experience in your body. The world will feel it. and you will attract in kind. It's very powerful. It's profoundly powerful when we are dealing with the fear pandemic, which was the impetus for creating this class in the first place, how to help mitigate against some of that. Okay, that said, I'm ready for the meditation. So those of you that have not been on the class before, what I invite you to do is to have a notebook handy or a smartphone or a tablet or something to write on and with, so that as you get insights in this meditation, you can begin to draw and record anything that comes to you, because a lot comes in these meditations. Okay, so get yourself in a comfortable position and let us begin this meditation. And this is on the personal frequency raising around gratitude. We'll do planetary frequency raising at the end of the class. So on the first breath, so just take a deep breath and breathe out. And as you breathe in again, I invite you to breathe in this idea, this feeling. I am in harmony with self. On the in-breath, breathe in the sense of being at peace with myself and state to yourself, I am in harmony with self. And start to feel your body, your mind, your emotions, your spirit in harmony. A profoundly powerful state of being. I am in harmony with self. And feel this deep state of peace and well-being as you say that and experience that. And on the second breath, now I invite you to bring yourself into being at peace with all the people in your life, every single person in your life. I invite you to be at peace with all the people in your life, all the human beings in your life. Allow that sense of being at peace with every single person currently in your life, who've been in your life in the past, and project into the future that you have the wherewithal to hold that state so that all the future conversations and all the future relationships can operate out of a state of harmony with that person. And say to yourself, I am in harmony with others. Breathe that in. I am in harmony with others. So we're deepening our ability to be in harmony. First with self, then with others. And feel that radiating through your emotions, your thoughts, your spirit. Experience yourself as a person in harmony. And next, I invite you to be in harmony with all the beings on the earth and the earth itself. To be at peace with the earth and all living beings who inhabit it. And say to yourself, I am in harmony with the earth and all living beings who inhabit it. I am in harmony with the earth and all living beings who inhabit it. And experience the earth and you in this beautiful relationship. And experience humanity and you in this beautiful, harmonious relationship. I am in harmony with the earth and all living beings who inhabit it. So now allow for the next minute or two yourself to stay in this state of harmony, which is one of the absolute highest frequencies there is, with self, with others, and the earth. So be there for the next minute or two and feel your frequency vibrating at a very high level. And as you do that, feel all the members of this class resonating with you at this frequency. All the members in the Zoom class and all the members on Facebook Live. We're building a field. And bring yourself back from this meditation. And now I will take you into the gratitude part of the meditation now that you have prepared yourself to go deep. And I invite you now, before we formally begin, to tell yourself that you love yourself. Allow yourself to receive your own love, your own pat on the back, your own sense of feeling loved. Experience yourself being loved by yourself. I'm worthy of love and I love myself. And now do the same for the other people in your life. See them as worthy of love and tell them that you love them. Share that love. Let it radiate out to all the people in your life, the quality of love. And now do the same for the earth and all its inhabitants. Tell the earth that you love it and all the inhabitants so that you are in deep rapport. As you enter that state, you open up your heart to the quality of gratitude, which is a love state. The nature of gratitude is an expression of love. And that comes back. So now visualize yourself. Step out of yourself, look at yourself, love yourself, whatever way you want to just step away from being in this body and view yourself. this beautiful being that has a beautiful soul. And allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for about yourself. What are you grateful for about yourself and about your life? So now take a few moments to, and you might record this, what are you grateful for about yourself and about your life? You can record it. It's good to capture it. What are you grateful for in yourself and about your life? And then allow an image to emerge that represents that quality of gratitude. Is there a single image that embodies that experience of gratitude? Allow it to emerge. And now I invite you to visualize your family members. Visualize your family members. And allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for in your family members. You can do it by family member, or you can do it collectively, whatever you wish. Visualize your family members. They can be your immediate family members, your extended family members, not every person that in your family, but those who are most intimate. And allow words and an image to emerge of what you are most grateful for in your family members, individually or collectively. And record it so you have it to refer back to. You'll be applying some of this during the week, so you want to have it available. Now I invite you to visualize your close friends, those who you would consider to be a close friend, not all your friends, but just your close friends, and allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for in your friends, either individually, friend by friend, or collectively. Take a few moments to do that. And take another moment. You need it. And now visualize your co-workers, those people who you work with. They can be your vocational co-workers, your avocational co-workers. But these are the people who you do things with in the world, who you work with in the world in some form or other. And allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for in your co-workers, the people who you most closely work with. You can do that by individual or collectively. Just let it come from your heart. Gratitude comes from the heart. Every expression of gratitude is heartfelt. By now, your heart should be quite full from all the gratitude that you are feeling for all of these beings, including yourself. And we move on to the next part of the meditation, which is to visualize your neighbors. These are the people who are not intimate. You may not even know their names. You pass them on the street, in the elevator, in your building if you are in an apartment, in the grocery store. There are a limited number of places we go these days, but in general, these are the people that you just passed. They're nameless often, but they're your neighbors. They live in some proximity to where you live. Allow yourself to find words and an image to emerge of what you're grateful for in your neighbors. Allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for in your neighbors, and again, be recording these so you have access to these feelings. What are you grateful for in your neighbors? Allow an image to emerge that represents that, and any words. And if there are specific neighbors that you want to call out here, then do that as well. And now I invite you to visualize humanity, the collective human species, all 8 billion plus or minus, well, mostly minus, almost 8 billion. Every country. Every single ethnicity, every race. Every economic strata. Humanity. Allow words and an image to emerge of what you are grateful for in humanity. The fellow human beings that we share this journey with on this planet, and a particularly demanding journey at this moment. What's an image? And if there's a particular aspect of humanity, a part of humanity that you want to invoke and feel grateful for, feel free to do that as well. And lastly, visualize the God within you, your God self, and allow words and an image to emerge of what you're grateful for in God. And you can also imagine and visualize God in the larger universe. To make it more personal, you can try to visualize your own soul and the God self within. What are you grateful for? What's an image that emerges? What are the words that represent your gratitude for being a piece of the larger universe, feeling the God within you? And as you feel God within you, allow yourself to feel God within every single person and every living thing, everywhere. The same God that's within you is within everybody. So feel that larger connection as well. And feel your gratitude for the God within and without and inclusive of every human being and all living things, humanity, your neighbors, your co-workers, your friends, your family members, and yourself. Allow all that to fill your heart. It should be swelling by now with all that gratitude. And just expand it so it can hold all of that. Because gratitude equals love. That's a lot of love to hold. And now I'm going to invite you to go into, for those that wish to, can go into breakout rooms. Miranda will organize that. If you don't wish to, you don't have to. And those who are on Facebook Live will have a conversation while people are in their breakout rooms. And in the breakout room, I invite you to share what your experience was with each other. You'll have a total of 10 minutes, so 5 minutes each. And again, if you don't wish to be in a breakout room, that's fine. You can just stay with us in the Facebook Live group. But it's lovely to be able to connect with another human being, particularly after a meditation on gratitude. So, Miranda, if you would organize that for those that are interested. And if not, stay here. Don't worry. We'll allow you to hang out in the bigger room if you're not feeling drawn to breaking out right now.
I'm doing that right now. So everybody will receive an invitation on their screen in just a second to accept to go to the breakout room.
Are we done, Miranda? For those that want to be in a breakout room?
Yeah, Rick and Lars have not moved, so I think it's because they're on phones. So I'm just going to move Ben to a different room.
Rick, good to see you. You're muted, but I remember you well from the past. Blessings.
Okay, looks like everybody that is going to move probably has moved.
So I want to now speak to the people on Facebook Live. Hi, everybody. So what I'd love you to do is to share with us some of your experiences in any one of those 7 categories of what it was like to feel gratitude. Now I invite you to visualize. So please share in chat what your experiences are and how you're feeling now as you've had so much filling of your heart with gratitude. So give us words, emojis, whatever it is you wish to offer us on your experience of gratitude, or questions or comments as well. Miranda will share whatever can be shared.
Tons and tons of emojis. Peace from the Riviera Maya, Mexico. Lots of rainbows, hearts, hands in gratitude, stars. Even 5 things in other languages, which I can't read.
Any comments or questions?
Carrie Hayes said it made her feel a little bit sad, but very full of love at the same time. Mercedes said it makes her feel expanded. Laura said, this is so peaceful. Quantum Healer says, especially feeling gratitude and compassion for those I have judged in the past. Sandra. Mercedes is also feeling bright light. Marcella said, brought me to the center of my being. Thank you. Riza sent a sunshine. Mercedes said, thankful. Bobby says, feeling so many hearts, so much love. Bobby says, a beautiful white flame. Lee says, she feels overflowing with love. Kelly says, I'm grateful to be an empathetic person, and I'm grateful for the world's capacity to be empathetic. Mercedes says she feels more united. Bobby is feeling tears. Marin is feeling stars, hearts, roses, peace doves, and more stars.
Miranda, also well, I don't even need to ask you this, but I also invite you to share where you're from, what part of the world you are tuning in from, so we can see the collective impact of this frequency raising adventure we are on. So tell us what community you're in, what state you're in, what country you're in, and we'll start. And as Miranda reads out, we'll offer you gratitude for being in that place and holding down the light in that place on planet Earth.
Bobby says he's from New York City. Mercedes says Mexico. Ricky Hunley says, I'm starting to be able to thank God more often. I try to start when I wake up. I'm thankful when I use the restroom, brush my teeth, take a shower, step outside the first time in the morning, and as many more times as I can think to be thankful. Beautiful.
Now, Barbara, I see that you've joined. Are you just joining us now? Because people were in breakout rooms. So you're now in the Facebook Live part of the class, but we can say hi to you. Welcome to the class. And Sedona, a good spot to be. A lot of gratitude, I suspect. What are you grateful for about living in Sedona? You are muted.
Okay, let me unmute me. I'm grateful.
You are muted again. You were unmuted. You're almost there. You're pressing it, then it seems to go back.
All right. Well, first of all, it's great to see you, David. It's been like 2 decades.
I know, Barbara. Good to see you again.
I'm grateful that everybody here is very kind and loving. It's not just the Red Rocks. Everybody here really appreciates one another, and it's a very lovely place to be.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is a beautiful place. You chose well. You didn't originally, you were from, where were you from before that?
Philly. I'm a Philly girl.
Philly, yeah. Well, good to have you on the class.
Thank
now,
you.
Rick, you're still here. You're muted. Are you listening in? Well, you're not in camera mode, but if you are there, say hello. No, maybe your presence is here, even though you aren't speaking. Anyway, welcome, Rick. So Miranda, we have about a minute or two more. The people in the breakout rooms. Anything more to report before you bring them back?
Yeah, there's so many. But just California, Oregon, Portugal, New Jersey. People are talking a lot about feeling grateful for this kind of energy, that it helps them feel full. Some people are saying they experience sadness during this or let the grief come over them, but then also we're filled with love and light, unity, harmony. Lots of beautiful emojis, words, love. London in the UK, Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, Germany, Munich, Phoenix, Arizona, Australia, Philippines, Port Elizabeth, South Africa, Idaho, Israel, Medellin, Colombia, Ontario, Canada, New York. So yeah, lots.
We could probably stop there. So let's bring everyone back, or let them know they have a minute more to go. And then we'll have a larger discussion with the group when it comes back. Barbara, while we're waiting, we did a meditation on 7 qualities of gratitude. Gratitude, what you love about yourself, your family members, your co-workers, your neighbors, your humanity at large, God, and one other category. It's not coming to me. So that's what people have been talking about as they come back. We'll be unpacking their experience.
I think you forgot neighbors.
Neighbors. Miranda, my favorite grouping, the neighbors. Given all the work I do with community and neighborhoods. Okay. So we'll wait another moment or two. Some familiar faces again. Fun. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes or so to share any of your experiences that came out of your meditation and or your sharing in your breakout room. And if you haven't been on the class before, you get first dibs on sharing. And then we'll invite other members who've been sitting in this version of our class. Letitia, I don't see your picture, but I know where you live.
Hello, David.
Hi, how are you? How is South Africa,
Uh,
Letitia? And how are you? And what happened in the meditation? And can we see?
Wonderful. Yes, I'll try and get the camera on. I was saying it's 2:30 in the morning, so I didn't want to disturb my family.
Oh my God, I was wondering about that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Had a special prize.
Yes, wonderful.
Oh, I thought it was like Australia, but you're right. You're not actually into the next day. You're still into like.
That's right.
So thank you for waking up in this middle, or maybe not going to sleep.
No.
What happened for you in the meditation?
What was really powerful for me was just
Can we see you, Letitia, since you're talking?
I'm trying to get my camera back on with me. Okay. Do you want to go to someone else, and then I'm just going to get my camera?
We'll go to someone. I want to come back to you. See if you can get your camera on.
Okay.
Good to see you.
No problem.
Who would like to share? And then some of you shared, so I may pick on some people. I think I'm going to pick on Erica. Hi, Erica, in Los Angeles.
Hi, David. I had a feeling you might.
Yeah, you were like an easy suspect or easy candidate for me. I haven't seen you in a while. I love you. So tell me what happened.
My internet is a little unstable, so hopefully y'all can hear me.
Great.
But it was really nice to talk with Ryan, I believe. Yes, Ryan in Brooklyn. And it was really interesting. Our first meditation on gratitude and self, both of our images had the color blue involved. And that just, it was like a blue and a blue light. Mine was about a big blue butterfly, and his was about blue light around him. And I thought it was just like powerful that even in the very first meditation, we had already connected.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Ryan, do you want to say anything now that you've been implicated?
Hi, David. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Ryan.
Hi, thank you so much for holding this space and for sharing this with all of us. It feels very powerful, and I feel the gratitude. I feel very grateful to and excited to just hold space of gratitude. I mean, this is something that I personally practice daily. I practice just conscious awareness of gratitude, and I've been practicing this for a number of years. And what I've noticed is that over time, my brain has shifted, and I'm sure many other aspects of my being, but my brain, mentally, my thoughts have shifted from practicing this so that I wake up in gratitude. And it wasn't that way for a long time. I had to really work at it. But one of the things I wanted to just share about this experience tonight of the meditation was my personal gratitude. And the one thing that I really feel grateful for about myself today is that my compassion for others and for myself. And that's something that I certainly don't take for granted. I feel like it's a gift to have that gratitude. But it is a constant effort, a constant practicing and coming back to that awareness and taking actions that reflect and match that idea or that awareness. So I just feel extremely grateful for that. And the abundance of love and connection and growth that I experience in my life today. It's just, some moments I just feel like I get just overwhelmed by how full and how rich it can be, and simultaneously I can hold the awareness that I have a choice in that. You know, I know that I can easily slip out of gratitude, so easily. So I just really appreciate knowing that I have a choice today, and how I perceive and how I show up in my life.
Beautiful.
And yes, that we're here just sharing in this. This is just such a gift. So that's what I got for you.
You've invoked gratitude, and I'm very grateful for you, as a student of gratitude, to share your best practices, that you hold gratitude. You've been working with that for years. And that of all the things you feel grateful for, you feel grateful for compassion for yourself and others. So that's a beautiful gift. Thank you, Ryan. Bless you. Anyone else like to share their experience of this meditation on gratitude?
Letitia's back.
Oh, Letitia's back. You deserve the space, Letitia. How many people are grateful that Letitia is here at 2:30 in the morning from South Africa? Okay, so you're getting a lot of gratitude vibes. Tell us, Letitia. You're muted, but we do see you. You have to go off mute.
Thanks to my partner, Aura, for calling me out. I think what was phenomenal for me was just being immersed in this pool of gratitude. And what I found quite amusing was that the person that I have a lot of conflict with when I had my, for my husband, I just had such gratitude for his strength and the support that's come through quite powerfully during this time of lockdown, and the image that I found quite powerful was my partner shared, and I'd like for her to share the image of water, and my image was of a tree with roots being grounded firmly along a river, and how the planet opened up and became a forest as we united, as one, breathing together. And I found that very, very powerful. And it just immersed me into a deep gratitude for breath and for life.
For life itself. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
And who was your partner?
Aura.
Oh, Aura. All right, Aura.
Yes.
On the act again, by virtue of being a partner of Letitia this time. What happened for you? How was your sharing with Letitia? Normally we just share one-on-ones, but what was your experience of partnering with Letitia?
There's one image I want to share, is the image of the water, when you showed us the water, the harmony. So when I said I am in harmony, because I wasn't there yet, but saying I am in harmony, I saw how all the fluids in my body were like rearranging themselves into very quickly into that image of harmony that you showed us, of that drop of water.
Doesn't she look more in harmony than ever? For those that have been seeing her in all the classes, yes, you look great. See what happens? It makes it even look more beautiful. So thank you for stepping into your full harmony and getting all the 70% of the water in your body properly harmonized. Yay. It's a new beauty standard, I guess, for all humanity. Thank you, Aura.
Thank you.
So we have time for a couple more. Anyone? Matthew. Yay, Matthew. And Brooke.
Oh, how are you? Greetings.
Greetings. And where's Oliver tonight?
Oliver's actually doing some schoolwork right now, so
Okay.
he's busy over typing up some projects right now.
All right, that's okay. You tell him though that we thought of him.
He's always listening, and he bops over, and he's right here with us for
Okay,
sure.
Oliver is one of our classmates who's 8 years old and who's been working to try to raise his frequency. Well, actually, we're trying to catch up with Oliver. Please be told.
Yes, that's
So
right.
Matthew, tell us, and Brooke, what happened?
Well, this is a very powerful meditation for us and topic as well. Throughout anything in my life, gratitude has been a driving force and a power for my energetic self and my love and power that I can bring to whatever it is that I'm doing. There are times where, the plan for the future isn't always clear, but being grateful for what I have helps me stay in a moment and stay in a powerful moment so that the decisions that I'm making and the thought processes that are happening moment to moment come through a lens of love and gratitude. And when you view the world and whatever's happening externally or internally through that internal lens of gratitude, I think it really starts to attract all of the positive things, more of what you are already thankful for into your life.
Is there one thing, Matthew, that stands out of what you're most grateful for in life?
Oh, so much I'm grateful for.
That's why I'm giving you the hard question.
All right. Well, specifically, I'm most grateful for the connection that I've been creating with the people that I care about most in my life. The doors that have just blown open that have made it so our communication is coming at such a pure level that it's creating a space of true unconditional love, which is a safe place and makes it so that mistakes can be made and growth can occur, but it's that we're all moving forward together in a positive direction. And I can't be more grateful for them. Whatever has been guiding myself and my family into this space is just the most beautiful gift. So that's what I'm most grateful for.
And Brooke, anything you want to add from your perspective?
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to say a little something tonight. So I think I was most powerfully influenced by the last two pieces of the meditation. So when it came to all of humanity, I'm really quite grateful for all of humanity's great power and our collective capability. Although not all of us might be aware of that power, I do believe very thoroughly that we all have it and that we all are extremely powerful. I'm grateful for humanity's gift for the power to create the world in which we live. I think that's an amazing power that's been bestowed upon us, and I'm quite thankful for it. And then an extension of that is I'm grateful for the guidance and the unwavering support from the God inside of myself, the fighting spirit, the flame that refuses to go out. I am thankful that the unified source of all things thought that the idea of Brooke Van Dusen was a good one. So I'm humbled by that every single day, and I'm really glad to be a part of it.
What was a good one, Brooke?
That the idea of Brooke Van Dusen was a good one. You know, that the source of all things would, I'm humbled that this infinitely intelligent source had an idea and it was me, and I'm grateful for that.
Nice, beautiful. Yes, I like that one. One of my favorites as well. Yeah, there's certainly a lot to be grateful for. And you now have your list worked with over the week and life. What I want to do is move on. I want to move on to the rest of our adventure today. And I want to talk about the daily practice, because this is beautiful. We spend a lot of time building the field around each of these qualities individually, and then reinforcing it by hearing from others, both in this class and in Facebook Live. And then we have to apply it, so it's real. So what I'm inviting you to do this week is to express this gratitude. So every day, like Ryan has shared, when you wake up, say to yourself what you're grateful for about yourself that day. Look for multiple opportunities to tell each member of your family what you're grateful for. about them. If they don't live immediately with you, reach out. Send them an email, a text, speak to them on the phone. The same with your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors. What a great opportunity to pass a neighbor and say, I'm so grateful to see you today. What would that be like for that person's day? And then humanity at large in God. God within, God without, God in others. Just the very basic, I bow to you, is an act of gratitude with a God within another. So a lot of opportunity to practice. And I invite you to practice. I also invite you to practice on the 7-part meditation that I led in the first class, which has got all the frequency raising qualities. Again, you use that during the week if you wish to really up-level you. It's a great way to start the day. You can just read it and practice it, or you can listen to the meditation. Miranda, if you could put the link in for people to go there. And then before I move into the last part, which is creating the world anew, I want to check in on applying your meditation insights from last week on faith. So anyone want to share who was practicing this week what your week was like practicing what you came up with in the faith meditation? Anybody? Anything you want to share about that? And same with Facebook Live. So Miranda, if you want to see if there's anyone who wants to offer anything from Facebook Live about how they practiced what they got from their faith meditation during the week. How many of you practiced? Ryan? Anybody else? Miranda, yay. Matthew and Brooke, good. All right, so Michael, since we haven't heard from you, what did you learn this week practicing what you got in your faith meditation? Last Wednesday, and then you applied it during the week.
The two things that were prominent for me this week, one about faith, not just faith, but the gratitude leading into tonight. Gratitude, which is something that I know, but it was a great reminder, and I happen to also share with Matthew and Brooke, so that was wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Sharing. With faith, I was struck by one thing that you said, because I don't think of myself as a person of deep faith, who like lives that. But you mentioned something about it being, the most infectious quality.
Yep.
And it struck me in the political efforts that I'm making that, which becomes a jumble sometimes, very hard to sort of anchor myself. I think in the next stage of that, it really is to capture what is my faith moving forward, how, that I could probably say in 1 or 2 sentences, but to communicate to some people that I'm working with around that, rather than go through the jumble. The faith is something that I think is grounding, and it is something I believe in. So,
well, who's a good role model for faith is Thomas Jefferson, because he, and I write about him in my book on Social Change 2.0, and Arthur shows up, he's hanging out at University of Virginia, Charlottesville, so he hangs out a lot in the States. But what I love about Jefferson's point of view about humanity, which a lot of people don't have faith in us as a species.
Yeah.
He did. And he has all kinds of lines about that. So if you're hanging out in the political space in a world where there is the elite who do not trust and believe in, and then we have representational democracy where people don't even get to be, whose voice are barely heard. So whatever it is that is engaging you in the political arena, a very important arena, as we discussed this week in your conversation by email. What gives you faith, you know, in that system? What gives you faith in humanity? Because you need to believe in humanity to play in
Right.
the space. And do you?
Right.
And if
Yeah.
you do, what gives you faith? And if you don't, by the way, it'd be a good thing to figure out.
The class is a great reminder that I have faith in people. I can't say I have faith in all people, but I have faith that there are many, 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 many thousands of people who, you know, like come from a wonderful soul, you know. So I think that's what we have to engage in, which is probably exactly what you're working with this planetary. Can we engage and have unity there, which can have enormous political influence?
I'm going to give you some options for faith. So let's take humanity at large. But another opportunity is that we can evolve the political system. A lot of people feel it's broken beyond repair, and therefore it has to dissolve or be rebuilt or reinvented, and likely all of the above. I don't know, beyond resolve, but it's certainly the one has to have faith in that political system and democracy at large.
Yeah.
In the political space. So that's another thing giving you some homework to think about.
Thanks.
Let me know how it goes next time we connect.
Okay.
I'm going to move us on because we have to raise the planet's frequency. That's the rest of our day today. It's a big job for all of us. Fortunately, we have not just those on this class. We have a lot of people all over the world as we're learning. And Erica has a friend visiting whose name is?
This is Frank.
Frank. Welcome, Frank. We need you. And we also had Ava visiting, Miranda. Where's Miranda? Is Ava okay?
I'm here. Yeah, Ava's my 9-year-old, and like the other kiddo, she sits and listens most of the time when we have broadcasts too, but she's kind of
nice.
Sharing, but I thought she was going to for a minute because there's so many things she's grateful for. So
is she still listening?
She just ran out right after she was asked.
Maybe let her have a command performance. Since she's 9 years old and she hangs out with us, she deserves to offer us her wisdom.
Well, there is really some of the messages on Facebook, I just wanted to say, are really touching, and I had some of the same experience of so many people from my past came up in the meditation when thinking about family, friends, and people I love, and maybe people I haven't seen in a long time, or that I've forgiven, or I'm in the process of that, or just so many things. And somebody on Facebook had said this too, but just they asked themselves, you know, what do they want to feel when they're feeling gratitude towards a situation with a person, and maybe if there's still pain, and they just, you know, this prayer just helps you to choose love. So over and over again, no matter if there's pain or if there's some kind of separation, the answer is always love. And especially when you're coming at it from gratitude. And it's just beautiful. Other people are saying that too. And it just reminded me of that for me when you were going through the meditation as well.
Thank you, Miranda. And thank you all, everybody. It's a beautiful space we're building together. And now we've got 6 of these under our belt. So it's quite a collective space, particularly, so we had 13,000 last week on Facebook Live, and the blessing class had 31,000 people. So these classes have a ripple effect. And so everything we're learning and doing is rippling out into the world, and that ripples out into other people, and that's what it looks like. Oh, and here's Oliver. Yay, hi Oliver. Welcome to the class. And now maybe Ava will be interested, and Ava can meet Oliver. But at least, you know Oliver, you're not the only one. And Ava, she's now getting Ava. So we're working on down, whatever the word, bringing it down lower into the age ranges here. Okay, so I'm going to move us forward because we do have still a lot to cover. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the section of our class called Creating the World Anew. And what we've been focusing on is the Reinventing the Planet plan, my life work, if you will, of how we actually can create a blueprint for reinventing planet Earth and humanity's trajectory as a species. And in prior classes, I provided the blueprint. We've gone over a number of the levers, as we call them, for climate, for development, for peace, for the overall plan. One of the things that the plan does, and it makes it easier to have faith in the future, is that we see how we can create that future, how that reality becomes a possibility to be born. And for those of you that have not checked out the plan yet, go to reinventing.earth and you can learn more about it, and you can watch the video. So that's the plan. Today we're going to go into the fourth of the 5 levers, which is knowledge, specifically the notion of second order change, or what I talk about in my book, Social Change 2.0. And second order change, very simply, is when the world's systems start to unravel as we are experiencing now, and they break down, and they are no longer moored to that which keeps them in place. They either become completely broken, or they can evolve to a higher level of performance and social value. The process of evolving to a higher level of performance and social value when a system is unmoored from that which keeps it in place is called second order change. The experience we're having now as a human species is the preeminent experience in my lifetime, and maybe ever in the history of humanity, of a second order change opportunity, because we can, because there are no systems that are solidly in place right now, evolve. And we're seeing it all over the place. No one wants to go back. They see a new possibility. We've accelerated so quickly. So before I go into a little deeper dive into Social Change 2.0, I want to ask each of you 3 questions. So these are questions you don't have to answer directly, but think about. What change would you like to see to create a better world? What change would you like to see to create a better world? And Ava, welcome. And Oliver, welcome. You are holding down the fort because it's your future we're trying to change. So I'm going to ask you guys that right now. Ava, what change would you like to see in the world to make the world better? And you have,
I don't know.
That's a great question, but you have to think about it. What would you most like to see happen in the world to make it better?
Care for animals.
Okay, care for animals. That is a great start. And I know you lost your dog, so I know that you care for animals a lot, and I hope you feel better if you've recovered from that loss. And I know you have other animals, but sorry about that. Oliver, what change would you like to see in the world?
What do you think? Say hi first.
Hi.
Hi, Oliver, welcome. Sorry, we didn't get to see.
Well, I don't know, get you.
So what change would you like to see? I mean, that is quite an opening question for any of us.
No more homeless people.
No more
Homeless.
Homelessness.
Homeless
people.
Beautiful.
It's a really good one.
That's a good one, buddy.
We always wonder about that.
Mm-hmm.
And let me hear from a few others on the class. What change would you like to see? And I know Michael would like to have a better political system, so we've already got that going. But what other changes would people like to see in the world? Anyone? Why don't we have people on Facebook Live share that? What changes would you like to see in the world? So Letitia's saying equality. Beautiful.
They're saying more wisdom and enlightenment.
Beautiful. Okay, so think about the change you would most like to see in the world. Imagine you're going to be given a magic wand and you can make it. You first have to know what you want and then you can make it. But just the starting point is, what do you want it to look like? And the second question is, what does it look like when it's successful? How do you know it? What does it look like? So it's one thing to have a wish. It's another thing to be able to know what it looks like when your wishes come true. That's the second question to ponder. And then the third question is, this is a more demanding question. If you had everything that you needed to make that change come about, if you had everything you needed to make that change come about, would you pursue it? Would you actually spend time trying to make it happen? So the invitation here is to open up the question at a wider level and invite us into it to try to make it happen. And if we have the intention and we know what we want, we're halfway there. And part of the other way there is that when I describe the notion of second order change, there is a book I wrote called Social Change 2.0, which is how to do second order change. And the nature of second order change is to create the most difficult things in the world, the most intractable challenges that we face. Peace on earth, lifting people out of poverty, transforming the trajectory of an ecosystem collapsing. Those are all the projects I've been sharing with you. And pathways on how to transform that all come out of this notion called second order change. So I want to now drill into the knowledge part of our work, and I want to share with you a section of the website that starts to explore that a little bit and take you on a journey through it. So you can see what you might have an option to do if you so wish. Can you see this page, everyone? Yeah, okay. So this is the book I wrote, Social Change 2.0, a Blueprint for Reinventing Our World. And this is the process by which systematically we envision and create what we want. And this page begins to share some of that. And I'll read this passage. To bring about the large-scale transformations needed for humankind to evolve and enable us to have a viable planet to inhabit, we need leadership schooled in the competencies of transformative social change. With our planet on the line and with such a propitious opening for positive change available to us, which, by the way, was when I wrote this in 2009, it was definitely a moment. It is even more propitious now. This is not the time for change leaders to be foundering. We all need to be playing at our best. This section of the website provides information about the Social Change 2.0 book and development of a study circle to bring transformative social change to your project. It's eminently practical. What do you want to create? Are you willing to pursue it? If the answer is yes, this is a how-to. And this is basically describes the introduction to the book, which really unpacks that notion of what I mean by it. Then it describes the contents. And then there's an excerpt from the book, which would be relevant to each of you, which is Building Leadership Capacity to Change the World, a School for Transformative Social Change, which we are calling the Center for Reinventing the Planet. So this is a resource. And then this gives you more insight into a video, a conversation I had with Deepak Chopra about it, a review in Fast Company, and then I moved to the final thing I want to share with you, which is a study circle. I have just formed a wonderful study circle with University of California, Santa Barbara campus sustainability community, which is committing to working with us to create the first carbon neutral city in the world in Isla Vista by 2025. Yay. Erica, not too far. Keep an eye on them. And they'll be reading Social Change 2.0 as part of the how-to. They have our whole cool block model, but this is the deep dive on how one builds that kind of transformative social change. So the head of Camp Sustainability bought 6 books, and they're going to be working through the book using the study circle model, which I want to share with you now. So this is the notion of a study circle. It's a guide to enable a small group operating as a community of practice to apply the ideas, strategies, and practices of Social Change 2.0 to enhance an existing or develop a new social change initiative. So Michael, imagine your colleagues, your political colleagues, imagine AOC, your acquaintance and support person you've been supporting, learning these tools to complement her 1.0 skills. Imagine her with 4 or 5 colleagues doing a study circle. Imagine yourself in that study circle, or others who are unhappy with the current political system but don't know how to evolve beyond it. You can't change the system the same level at which it's created, as we're all well aware. So this is how to step out of the system to see it from a change perspective. So it applies to multiple types of groups, every group that wants to create change you can imagine. And then how the study circle works is that 6 to 12 people meet on a regular basis. Think of a to-do book club, but it's really an action group. You can either meet every week for 1 hour and cover 2 chapters, or every week and cover 1 chapter. Lunchtimes, whenever, but the formats are straightforward. And then it explains, and in each of the meetings, it explains how to host a meeting, and then the questions to answer. And all you need to bring to the table is either a common project, or you all work on different projects and you work through them collectively. So you bring the collective intelligence and creativity by virtue of answering these questions. And at the end, you have a map of what you want to create. So Matthew and Brooke and Oliver, if you want to create a Peace on Earth zone in Kalamazoo, this would be a fantastic way. While we'll give you a lot of hows in our, as you learn more about the Peace on Earth zones, this gives you a lot more of a deeper knowledge, because you will soon outgrow whatever guidelines we can give you, because this requires deeper knowledge. Everything that any of you have been attracted to in the Reinventing the Planet plan is second order change, and you need to know this. And if you start working with me, you have to know this, otherwise you'll keep getting quizzed, have you read the book yet? Because it's so hard for me to explain all these things. It's much easier if you know these things, and then we can build on them, as Miranda knows so well. So that's this. So let us take a few minutes, and then we'll do our closing meditation. Any questions or comments on Social Change 2.0, the study circle?
David, can you give an example of Social Change 2.0 that has already happened in our history and our long history?
Is an example of Social Change 2.0 that happened, transformative social change. Every cool block meeting is an example of Social Change 2.0. The Peace on Earth game, the Imagine program, they're all embedded with that operating system, which is a transformative social change initiative, which follows the principles of this, the 5 principles, basically, of this book, which is to empower, to transform, to innovate, to unify, and to disseminate. So everything I do.
But in history, would you say that the abolition of slavery?
I would say the creating of America was an example. of a transformative vision. That was a second order change vision and transformational social change based on what was currently at play. They may not have called it that, but that's what I would call it that. I would say there are, the challenge though, the challenge when you start to look at a lot of social change like civil rights is that it's based on legislative interventions, which are important, but they are not fundamentally transformational. Sometimes they can be, but they tend to be quite slow. Which isn't to say it goes fast otherwise, but the point being that the full transformation from the civil rights is still a work in progress. It is not really fully there yet. But I would say the evolution of democracy from autocracy would be an example following. It wasn't based on passing legislation. That was a revolutionary process. But by and large, we haven't seen many examples because what we've basically been experiencing is 1.0 incremental change. Legislation, financial incentives, protests, and awareness campaigns. That's the 1.0. More to be said.
Can I throw something in?
Michael.
I think civil rights and maybe feminism or female power, as many decades and whatever it's taken and how imperfect it is, I do think that those are things in the United States that do have vibrated outward.
I think you're right. I mean, depending upon how we define it, how narrowly or broadly we define it, I think so we do change. We do change. We have evolved. We are here because we've changed. We don't do a lot of things that we used to do. The main value of second order change now is we have to change a lot faster than we've ever had to change before because the life support system is collapsing, because so many of the systems are so broken. And we can't get all that change to happen through traditional 1.0. So when the systems are now breaking down, then there's an opportunity to break through to a higher level of performance and social value. So the opening for second order change is when the systems are unstable and oscillating and perturbating for the breakthrough. But that requires us to understand the methodology of how to optimize that. So we have just submitted a very large proposal to some funders in the climate space for our Cool Block and Carbon Neutral City initiative, which is a second order change initiative that, if fully understood in relationship to everything else, which are first order change, will change the game of climate solutions. Erica is working with me on some of that in Los Angeles and helping us in Palo Alto and other places. But Erica, this is the next level, right? This is how do we create carbon neutral cities. So here's what I would propose. Miranda, could you put in the chat, if you have my URL, the URL for my talk on carbon neutral Isla Vista by 2025, and that'll show you, that'll be a case study of what a second order change intervention looks like on how to really address the climate issue. So I'm gonna move on because I want to do our closing meditation, but thank you for these questions. And generally it's a more sophisticated theory of change. So it'll make more sense if you read the book, and then you'll know more what I'm talking about. There's subtleties, because all change is good, and we're making changes happen all the time. And how great is that? But how do we get the quality, the quantity, or magnitude and speed of change required to create the world that we know we have to create in the timeframes we have to create it? Climate is the ultimate teacher right now. Okay, enough on that. Let me move us forward and do our closing meditation. Okay. Well, actually, before we do that, just a brief little thing to get you ready for next week. So practice your work on gratitude. You know where to register for the next class. Miranda can put that in. be in conversation with us if you want to on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and we can continue this conversation if you wish, go deeper. We don't have more time now. For those of you that are interested in playing the Peace on Earth game, which is a second order change game for sure on how to do peace on Earth, please go to peace2030.earth and register and be a team leader or create a pose zone. And you'll be the first to know I'm be offering a new class starting 2 weeks from today, after we finish our last class on this topic, called Jedi Training, Peace on Earth by 2030. And it's about planetary frequency raising leadership. And it'll be for those that really want to step into mastering the game and whose path is to bring this into their communities and into the planet at large. So spiritual leadership writ large. And we'll be launching it in September. So for people who are partners, for people who want to play the game, people who are already team leaders, so just giving you a heads up. We'll say more next class. And it'll be free again. Okay, so let us get ready to end our time with this last meditation. And let me build a context. It's on gratitude. So I'm going to read you the affirmation part of it, the intention, the prayer, whatever words you want to use for it. I want to just read you through it quickly so you understand why it is what it is that I've said. And then we'll do it together. And we'll be doing this knowing that there'll be likely, who knows how many, 10 million plus people doing this collectively with us. So we'll really be raising the frequency of the planet. So the first thing I want to talk about is, I'm going to say it and then I'm going to unpack it. I am grateful for the opportunity to participate in raising humanity's frequency at this historic juncture in our evolution on planet Earth. So this first part of the meditation is to offer your gratitude. I mean, I got this beautiful note, bless her soul, from Brooke. And she was so grateful for the opportunity to be part of creating peace on Earth. And she said, how could I pass up an opportunity to do that? So that's peace on Earth. And the larger thing is, how could we pass up an opportunity to be able to participate in this historic juncture where we get to evolve humanity and the planet? So this is really stepping into what it means to have that opportunity, the gratitude that one feels. I was feeling that today when I was walking. How grateful am I that I get to be part of this? And the second part is I do everything with my power inwardly through invoking this each day to visualize it, and outwardly through my direct actions and every word that I speak to help us evolve into a magnificent and enlightened species. The second part of this is I'm grateful for the opportunity to live on such a beautiful planet. Some would say one of the more beautiful planets in the universe. I do everything within my power, inwardly and outwardly, to heal it and help it evolve into a magnificent and enlightened planet. So again, fully stepping into the inner and outer wherewithal that you bring to do that. And then lastly, on the spiritual level, I am grateful for the extraordinary assistance provided to humanity in its evolution. We don't do this all by ourselves. By Archangel Michael and his legion of angels, and Saint Germain and his fellow ascended masters, which includes Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Kuan Yin, and many others. So there's a lot of help. I do everything within my power inwardly and outwardly to support the dissemination of their light, love, and wisdom on the planet. And then lastly, we have a visualization, which I won't lead you through. I'll just take you there when we get there. So let us get ourselves quiet. Take a few deep breaths. And as you breathe in, allow yourself to breathe in a sense of quiet and stillness. And as you breathe out, allow yourself to be fully present to this moment. As a being on planet Earth with immense capacity to change the world and make it a better place. And so as I say this to yourself in silence. I am grateful. And feel the I am power that you have, and feel the quality of gratitude. I am grateful for the opportunity to participate in raising humanity's frequency at this historic juncture in our evolution on planet Earth. I am grateful for the opportunity to participate in raising humanity's frequency at this historic juncture in our evolution on planet Earth. So feel the gratitude to be part of it, to be where the action is, to be at a moment in time when you have so much power and influence. To be on the Planetary A team. And now feel the power inside of you. Every word that you speak, every emotion that you feel, every intention that you utter, every action you take is your power. I do everything within my power inwardly and outwardly to help us evolve into a magnificent and enlightened species. Into a magnificent and enlightened species. We can envision it, we can create it. You're part of this. If not you, who? You've been selected, self-selected. And probably you've gotten taps on the shoulder also if you are tuned in. I am grateful, next part, I am grateful for the opportunity to live on such a beautiful planet. Feel the beauty of this planet and your gratitude for living here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to live on such a beautiful planet. Feel the gratitude for the beauty. As Michael said earlier, what did he say? Such a great line. He said, how can you live on this magnificent planet called Gaia and not be in joy and gratitude every day? So your chance to offer your gratitude. And then lastly, I am grateful for the extraordinary assistance provided to humanity, including myself, in its evolution, and then fill in the blanks. Archangel Michael and his legions of angels, I count on them every day to help me. It's too big a job to have to do all by myself. Saint Germain, who has the responsibility for the next 2,000 years as the person appointed to take over for Christ as the, what they call hierarch in terms of the human evolution on planet Earth, and his fellow ascended masters, everyone that you know who's been here, likely, Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Kuan Yin, and many others. So they're there to help us. They're all there to help us. So feel your gratitude for that help. We don't have to do this by ourselves. And now I do everything with my power inwardly and outwardly to support the dissemination of their light, love, and wisdom on our planet. They need to be invoked to be able to play their role. And then they can bring so much to the table. I've always felt blessed to have that support and take on immensely big challenges knowing I'm not alone. And now visualize, with your eyes closed, just visualize our beautiful Earth and all human beings filled with your light and love. Visualize our beautiful Earth and all human beings filled with your light and love. See yourself radiating light and love and filling the heart of every human being and filling the aura of this beautiful Earth. And see it full of light, and see every human being full of light, and see yourself radiating all that light. and all that love. You are raising the frequency of the planet as you do that. Imagine 1,000 of us, 5,000 of us, 10,000 of us, 20,000 of us. This is quite a field we're building. Now visualize the frequency of humanity and the earth raising or rising as it receives our collective love and light. Now see the frequency, feel the etheric field of the earth and of humanity, and feel it vibrating at a much higher level, at a level where there's no room for dissonant thoughts. There's no disharmony, there is just harmony. It can't be held. This is the short path to transforming our systems. And visualize that and hold the space. And lastly, visualize the success of this evolutionary adventure called humanity on planet Earth. And imagine us now and visualize us now as enlightened humanity. An enlightened planet, carrying enlightened beings, radiating out light and love to the universe. Visualize the success of this evolutionary adventure on planet Earth, where we are now an enlightened humanity, living on an enlightened planet, carrying passengers who are enlightened, who then up-level the frequency, literally, of the three-dimensional Earth. Radiating light and love out to the universe. See that and feel that and practice that. And if you tune in right now, you will feel the frequency of the earth responding to this intention. Just like you felt when you were meditating on gratitude personally, this intention, imagine the water crystals now in every human being, in every plant, in this state. Your thoughts, your emotions, our collective thoughts and emotion, we are literally changing the physical, mental, and spiritual substance of this planet. Just hold the space for that for a few moments, collectively. My friends, my blessings, my gratitude, my love, my prayers, they all showing up right now for all of you. Thank you. What did I leave out? Service, my service to you. Thankful for the opportunity to be of service to you. So I will see you next week. Hopefully many of you, you have a great week, hanging out in gratitude, raising the frequency of your own being and the planet. Many blessings. Go in peace.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, David.
You're
Bye,
most
everyone.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.